Micah Van and Melanine, and well met indeed. I am Arachir Galadurthan, head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer, and welcome to the High Elves campaign continuing on. I was going to record Skyrim today, but I'm quite enjoying at the moment the very DaC-focused nature of the channel, and I wanted to keep that going, particularly with the modding I did yesterday. And I recorded the first two Dorwinian episodes yesterday, and they'll be going up. The first one's tomorrow, actually. But I wanted to play High Elves instead of Skyrim today, so here I am. An impromptu extra episode, if you will. Something just before we begin, I mentioned in an episode a turn ago, last episode maybe, the one before, that I would rather Elrond have a more battle-like appearance. Unfortunately, courtesy of another mod, I think Reforged maybe, or possibly, I can't remember. I don't know which one it's from, but anyway, we have the material for an Elrond that is in battle armor, so he has been changed, and no longer is he in a skirt. So that's good. But turning back to our own campaign, as someone commented, and I thought, surely not, but now that we're actually here, I'm sorry I forget your name, but you're absolutely right. Angmar has made it to Eastern Nemeriador already. The dwarves have not kept them back. What is going on? The temptation to toggle Fog of War is very high right now, and I must refrain from doing that. So we'll just have to find out what's going to happen there. But unfortunately, Angmar are coming. So our army prepares in Mithlond, though, so we should be all right. We've got a little bit of a force training. We get about 6,000 gold coins. Elwa here is giving us some sight range at the moment. Sire. And Elves. Elrond is about to link up with this fellow, Celion, and take the city of Bruenost.
By the light of Elbereth, scatter them. Follow me.
With reinforcements in tow. But I'd rather that this army here, Captain Offlug, I'd like him to attack us. So we'll try and siege it out rather than go for it. We are making enough money after all, so it doesn't really matter. So that is good. But otherwise, we shall end the turn. Enidwythe, I believe I allied with them, if memory serves. Allies, yes, I did. So I don't actually have to worry about them at the moment, nor really ever. So we can focus our attention on Angmar if indeed Angmar are coming. My plan, of course, was to sail up the Gwathlo River, which is this one just here, and arrive at Tharbad ready to knock on the Aztec, the Dunlending door. They're the Aztecs in the files. But if Angmar is already coming to us, then perhaps we shall need to change our plans. Which is damned shame, really. But we'll give them what for, if you will. We'll go after the buggers. I can't believe they've already made it to there. That's a real sign of the changes Hummingbird brought in to try and make Angmar survive better as the AI. And those changes seem to have been working. Whether or not, though, Angmar have the stomach for all-out war will, of course, remain to be seen. Western Moria is used to seeing spelled differently. It isn't, is it? Is used to seeing orcs and goblins prowling the halls and dark tunnels. It seems, however, that the enemy now traverses into its halls. The entrances are blockaded and the halls sealed, but the orcs and goblins still fear a breach. Without resistance, the dark caves of the pass will be overrun, orcs will be killed with no mercy, and the rest will be driven away into the wilds in daylight. The chieftain must gather his troops and drive these invaders away, or doom will come to the mountain orcs. No, and Anorian's under attack as well.
Your orders.
Is there something
Mordor kicking up a fuss. I'm going to build you up, Isengard. We're going to share trading rights with one another, and then I'm going to attack you and annihilate you. For Sauron, we know of your machinations, and we know your intent now, and we will bring you down.
Not a bad offer. Your time was most valuable.
But we failed a mission, though. No, we can't get to them. That's not a problem. Harlond built some roads. Nice. And we have a nice amount of money to build something else now. Now, no one seemed to call me out on it, and I spoke about it in the Dorwinian episode, but when you are looking at this and you're building something and you're judging whether or not it changes your income, this is not an extra 194. Apologies, you can't see my cursor, but the second house here, the greyed out one, is not an extra 194. It is an extra sort of whatever that is, 70 odd over the original 129. So adding that isn't going to give me 194 gold coins, it's going to give me 70 gold coins. So you've got to really think when you are adding these. The Merchant's Wharf, for example, is going to take our trade up by, as you can see there, 1066, that's cool, isn't it? By almost 200 gold coins, and the building income go up by 100. So that actually is a very good building. I mean, it costs an awful lot of money, but we might as well go for it as we're going for income here. So apologies that I may have misled. Damn it, they are coming. Over here, quickly, build me some towers and then bugger off back to the north. I do love a good tower, so I'm in for that. Ah, and the wife, Captain Mogru.
Speak to our dignitaries.
The clansmen have come. And they press themselves north. We can't train anything, can we? It's so disappointing. I'm sorry, now, I'm recording this now after having already recorded the first 2 episodes of Dorwinion. And what I absolutely love about Dorwinion, and I miss terribly when I play as the Elves, is that Dorwinion can train troops from the level 1 town hall building. And it means that even in a village you can get free upkeep, and it is so good. It helps maintain order to a massive degree, and I miss that when I'm playing as the Elves. But we won't deal with Angmar until this army is at least ready, and it will be, unfortunately, 2 more turns, or 3 more in fact, because we've got to wait for the Lords to come too. But we are retraining the others. We don't get very good free upkeep here still, do we? We really need to keep that going. Where is the Town Hall building? There it is. Hall of Culture is the next one. 3, we get an extra 1 free upkeep. Oh dear, Gildor's Rest doesn't like us either. In the east they didn't attack us, did they? No. Oh, we still have Anon and Arad. Uteradian, if they come for you, you are very, very dead. And I can only apologise for that, but... Well, if they're not going to come for us, we might as well just take it and head south. Captain Zolgdash, you've got nothing, friend. I am very much of the opinion that Moria is now out of this game, to be honest. They've got too many enemies. My aggressive stance upon them has beaten them down. I know that the Moria can train troops very quickly, I get that. But they need the buildings in order to train those troops. And at the minute, their capital is besieged, so they can't get any troops out of there. Goblin Town is busy with Anduin, so they won't be sending troops south from there. And the other towns they have here, Ostinethiel and there's a little village as well, isn't there, just north of Ostinethiel. They won't be useful enough yet for Moria to really be able to plough lots and lots and lots of troops out. So they are, unfortunately, at the moment, a little... what's the word I want? They are... I can't think of a word. Hamstrung, that's what I'm after. So they aren't yet able. We've taken the cities that they would throw lots of troops at us from, and they are suffering in light of that. Right, don't fire arrows, and start the battle. I must confess as well that despite my ranting about Warhammer Total War 2, in the previous videos, and indeed in the Dorwinion videos, in which I talk about it, unfortunately, a lot. I did play it for most of the day yesterday, Saturday the 12th of October, and it is damn good fun. I would recommend it if you haven't already, if you're into the Total War games. To my mind, and I'll only talk about it while our troops are moving into position, but to my mind, it is very much the Empire Total War that we all wanted. You know, it's got that excellent gunplay, cannons. It's got that nice mix of transition from medieval melee and bow warfare to the sort of Renaissance gun warfare, or the Napoleonic eras and that kind of thing. And then chuck in the magic, which is just... I can appreciate why a lot of people would be like, oh, you can't have magic in a game, that's ridiculous. And I mean, a couple of times I've fallen foul of some absolutely atrociously overpowered spells that can wipe out an entire unit battalion in one go. But it is just a nice extra layer, I think. Battles, for the most part, unless you're a super min-maxer, which I, of course, am not, battles are very much just setting up your strategy and then watching it play out. You become a spectator to your own game. Whereas having just something like magic, for people like me who aren't constantly maneuvering all of my units, I hate watching YouTubers that just constantly like do this. You know, where they just keep moving units. It's like, you've already told them to move backward once. You don't need to tell them 5 times to run backwards. They understand the command. Anyway, sorry, that really grates on me. Apparently very much so. But, for people like me who do just set up and wait and watch, having magic and an extra, like, yeah, click an arrow on power, let's cast some sort of spell on the Orc Hunters over there. I think that is a cool little addition, and I welcome it. But I do know a lot of people that dislike it greatly. And of course the beasts as well. I mean, yesterday, in the shower yesterday, I spent the entire time fantasizing about, oh, can't Creative Assembly please just try and make a proper Lord of the Rings Total War. It would just be so good with the engine that we've now seen they have available to them. The Warscape engine, I believe it's called. I need you to shoot those wargs, and I need you to finish them right now, because they are going to damage you. Come on, everyone shoot them. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. They're wavering, they should break almost as soon as they reach melee. Yeah, bring them down, only one made it in. Nice.
The enemy general flees like the coward he is.
You guys go in.
Press onward.
I mean, imagine for me, if you will, having Saruman and Gandalf on the actual battlefield with the powers that they could have under the Warscape engine. Imagine Saruman casting a fireball into a charging Rohirrim that absolutely shreds their charge. I mean, these kind of things these are things I dream of, to be honest, because I don't have much else going on. So this is the kind of thing that keeps me going. And everybody and their dog would like to play this game with worms, with drakes, with even dragons, though it's a bit of a stretch to the lore, but screw it. It's a Total War game. The whole game is a stretch to the lore. And, of course, the Great Eagles, which are actually in Total War Warhammer 2. Like, you can play as the High Elves and you get Eagles. You also get weird, different types. Particularly if you play as that Alith Anar guy, who's got terrible... I don't like his voice lines. I think he's rather jarring. But if you play as him, he starts with an actual, just normal eagle, not a fantasy magical one. It's just a big eagle. And so it is very reminiscent of Lord of the Rings. And I think it'd just be awesome.
Slain the enemy general. Without him, his troops will lose their will to fight.
I'm surprised they haven't actually broken.
Be awed by the victory we have won here today.
3. And who got the most kills? Oh, tied for first and tied for third. That's really interesting, isn't it? 68, 68, 47, 47. You don't see that very often. But of course, it is but a pipe dream. The rights for the games of Lord of the Rings, I think, are still with EA. So Amazon now have the rights to production of because they're making the Lord of the Rings series, but they don't have the rights to the Silmarillion. So the whole series is based off of the appendices, which provide most of the information for Numenor anyway, so that doesn't matter. But I know that they don't have the rights to the Silmarillion, and I'm fairly certain that they do only have production rights in regards the silver screen, if you will, want of a better word. I don't think they do have gaming rights. I'm fairly certain EA do still have them, which is a shame, of course, because EA, well, I mean, everything is out for money, isn't it? There are some independent game studios you can still rely on, but most have shown their true colours of late. And in fact, the whole world at the minute is showing its true colours, with everybody just quietly acceding to China's demands because China's got all the money. And games companies, unfortunately, have shown that they are not any different in that regard. But it's a shame that EA has the games rights, because EA at the moment obviously is sort of whoring out the games rights, if you will, with that particularly atrocious game that people keep telling me to play, Shadow of whatever one it is, where they've got Isildur and Helm Hammerhand as Nazgul. Can you imagine? Helm Hammerhand as a Nazgul. What an absolute joke. Sauron had long given out the rings before Helm Hammerhand was born. Like 5,000 years before Helm Hammerhand even was born, the Nazgul already had the rings. I just don't get it. I suppose I'm not a massive lore purist, and if it's fun for the game, then go for it. But it does sting a little bit at how ridiculous that is for anybody who's even remotely interested in the lore and has read even just the slightest bit of information. Helm Hammerhand as a Nazgul is absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, let's not moan about that. I'm sure the game is good fun, and I wouldn't not play it because of the lore break. I don't play it because I didn't enjoy the first one. I thought it was a bit repetitive and boring. So that's why I've never played the second one. Is it called Shadow of Mordor, the second one, and the first one is Shadow of War? I can't remember. I mean, the whole notion of having Celebrimbor as a ghost that works his way through the Dunedain, it's like, what madness is this? What were you eating and tripping on when you decided to twist the lore in this way? But if the game is enjoyable, I honestly couldn't give a damn. I mean, we twist the lore an awful lot, and some people decide to die on very strange hills. I don't know if that's a phrase you've heard, but some people come at us and say, how can you break the lore in XYZ way? And I think, how can that annoy you? but this other, far more egregious break doesn't annoy you. And I just don't understand it. Oh, we'll get military units if we go to Rohan. Gildor's Rest likes us a little bit more. We've got some solid foundation in terms of money, actually. Ah, Basradum. Let's have a look. Let's test again. So that would increase our trade by not very much, 40-ish. Our corruption, unfortunately, would also grow. That would increase our harvest, doubling it. That's 60, but it costs 990. No, I think for now we will stick with building builders' halls in preparation for better buildings like mines. How you doing, Mythlon? 2 more turns and then we're good to go. Look how many ships I can recruit in Mythlon. Crime and netties. Numeramars and Palarans for days. To coin a term of the youth.
Onward! Over here, elves. We will need that one.
Should we see what the garrison up Cor Willishar is like?
The wind.
Ah, Bree have come. Maybe Elrahir on his own will be able to take it, you never know. There's no way on God's green that Captain Yernan is going to take Mythlon with Círdan in tow, so I'm not too concerned about that. But we do need to go and rescue Anon and a rod. I don't like to attack these fools, though. I know we probably should and could attack them, actually, couldn't we? Because, you can get more troops. Yes, please. The free upkeep here is 6, isn't it? 3 from the Citadel. And 2 from the Hall of Music. So we've only got 5, actually. But that's alright. We do also get the Armory. And hopefully they will attack us in Imladris at least once. So I can actually show you it. Because I realise I've not done that. Which is a bit of a failing, really, isn't it? I was doing something else as well, wasn't I? No, I think that was it. I was moaning about something else, I think. Oh, we didn't attack Anon and Ron. You idiot, Gally. Too caught up in moaning about law breaks. Someone recently, for example, talking of law breaks, I had a lengthy discussion with a gentleman in a comment. I think eventually he deleted it, or I hid him. One of the ways. He said something in Serbian or Slovenian or Slovakian to me, which I understand was quite offensive. So I decided, when you've started attacking me, or ad hominem as they say, that's when I tend to delete comments or hide people. But anyway, he was very disappointed at how low the charge of the Rohan cavalry was. And I assured him that Rohan is an absolute doddle of a nation to play. And I am going to auto-resolve this because we're not going to win. 35 elves just can't kill 2,405. And I assured him that Rohan is very much a cavalry nation. And there's more to being a cavalry nation than merely, this cavalry has the best charge. But he didn't like my line of thinking. And then at the end I then pointed out, because he seemed to take law as the main reason why this was a joke and why it needed to change. Because in the law, Rohan should be the finest of the finest. Their cavalry should be unmatched. And I take that point. But then I politely reminded him that the game starts in 2980. You'll see in the bottom left there, just above the map. You can't see my cursor, but there you go, just above the word winter there in the bottom left. It's 2989 at the moment, but it's 2980 that the campaign begins. And in 2980, of the Third Age, someone very important, a little Rohirrim general, or Rohirric general called Eomer, is not actually alive yet. He wasn't born for some years. Or he's either 3 or 2 or 1, or he's not born yet. I think he's not born yet. I think he was 2991 maybe. But anyway, I can't remember his exact year, but he's either a baby or not born. And I'm fairly certain he's not born. And so I pointed that out to the gentleman. And this unravelled his argument, and he didn't have a rebuttal at all, which is often the case online, isn't it? People just go on and on and on and on and on about the same old boring droll. And then you point out flaws in their argument, but because it's the internet and there's absolutely no repercussions, they then just keep banging on about the same crap. And, oh blimey, Captain Larzon is coming. He has a large army, and we don't actually have a large army. This is a foolish idea, we may well die there. But anyway, so when I pointed out that Eomer shouldn't be alive, it unravelled his argument, and he didn't really have a rebuttal. But he just kind of went, well, then you should make Eomer not born. It's like, right, so you hadn't thought about it. And then now that I've pointed it out, you've decided you also want that to change, but you didn't know about it before. So you were enraged about something you didn't know you were enraged about. So that, unfortunately, lends a little bit of discreditation to your argument. Is discreditation a word? No, it discredits your argument somewhat. But anyway, he didn't see my side of it. No one ever does see my side of it. I appreciate though in comments I can possibly come across as a little blunt. And I think people think that the way I speak... I talk in comments exactly like this. Oh, we're going to fight in Imladris, yes. So I speak and I write in the same way, and I think in comments it comes across as a little condescending, but it's not. It's just the way I talk, and I apologise that I talk in this particular way, but a lot of people seem to take offence at the way that I speak.
Scatter them.
And so I wonder if I'm a little too blunt in my comments, or indeed, I know that using big words, as they say online, is often a sign that you're just an absolute moron. Who knows one or two words and tries to make yourself look bigger and better. But that puts us, without sounding horrendously vain, which I appreciate I can't now. I'm going to sound like a massive twat, to be honest. But when you actually use big words all the time, it's unfair. Just because some moron has learnt what the word, I don't know, anti-disestablishmentarianism means, and I use that in actual discourse, suddenly I sound like a moron online. So all the morons have made it worse for all of us who know what the words mean. Sorry, that I'm listening to myself say that back, and I do just sound like an absolute idiot. Anyway, let's go on a tour of Imladris. Welcome to the newly created Imladris. You will appreciate that it is not as exact a replica of the films as you may possibly have hoped, and it is a little bare bones in relation to the previous one, but these are necessary changes to make Imladris playable and engaging. Many people hated the previous Imladris battle map, myself amongst them, because you could not line up your troops very well at all. The map was a nightmare to line up forces, and it bugged out so much. So RK has taken the necessary step to create this Imladris, which is based off of the Battle for Middle-earth 2 depiction of Imladris. So you've got this long central bridge, which you can rush out to defend if you wish to, or you can hold the walls. Do note that these walkways can be manned by your forces. Obviously, you can't start on them, you have to walk to them. But you can man those walkways, and the entranceway is the little, that little bridge door thing there. These are Malon-tree assets from Battle for Middle-earth 2. And it's interesting how assets work like that and can transfer between games, isn't it? But that is the level 3 Malon tree for the High Elves. It produces resources for them in Battle for Middle-earth. This is the, that's also an asset from Battle for Middle-earth, I'm sure. Much of them are, of course. But anyway, here we are. So, that's from Battle for Middle-earth, isn't it? But here we are. Welcome to Imladris. We've got an absolutely pitiful army. And I'm actually really quite concerned that we are not going to win this. So, if these are towers and actually shoot, then we'll be alright, but they're not, are they? They're just decoration. Damn. Damn, and blast and damn. I was really hoping they would be actual towers. Right, we're in for a real challenge here then today, people, so brace yourselves. The AI is going to try and swarm in, so rather than let them actually swarm to the town square, we'll go with a method that I've seen used and employed before, which is where you kind of sandwich them, you funnel them, so you don't incur the wrath of their pushing themselves through to your centre. You know how they use their mass to just break through. They just want to get to your town square, which for Imladris is just here. And here, or the High Elves, sorry. And here is our new High Elf banner, as I've already showed you before. It's a mix of Gil-galad's heraldic symbol and then just some fancy elven patterning. But it looks good. I like that it actually has the cutout, like crenellations, if you will, that denote it attaching to the flag, because you will note that it is actually 2D and not 3D at all. But from the side, it looks like it is, so. Success. Now there's a lot of trash coming towards us, so we're not too concerned about that. There's some wild crossbows which also won't be a threat because they'll have to get close. There's some normal crossbows, they also won't be a threat. There's some more snagger. There's some more basic tier units at the back, and then finally the Taskmasters forcing everyone on. Oh no, they've left someone behind. You've left the ladders behind, so they'll have to worry about them when they get to the end. Let's just enjoy the novelty of zooming the map in. But, and here we go. No towers. Okay, I'll ask in Discord, actually. Please, can you turn this into a tower and this? And to be honest, I'd really love it if you turned this into a tower as well, and this. 4 towers I don't think is much for such an iconic settlement. I'd love it if you made them baluster towers as well, which I know that I think you can do in the IWTE.
The enemy's ram is through our gates.
Right, here we go, everyone.
The enemy have the walls. Look to our defense, or all will be lost.
Stay strong. Right, we'll send in the Swordmasters first, and then we'll follow up with them.
Favor. Victory will be ours.
Go. Right, don't be in defensive mode. Feel free to push back. 6% of the enemy has died. There's going to be a break over there by the looks of it, though. Look at that. See how easy it is with the ability to zoom in that there are troops behind my line. But you guys, you need to run further in. There we are. Really plug that gap. Let's absolutely surround them. The wargs have all gone down. Is this really...
Good tidings. The enemy general lies
This can't
there.
be the whole of their force. They must have hidden units, right? Right, no, we're flagging on the right, so you guys moving to the right. You fellows, don't be in that mode anymore. Come out of defense. You're going on the left. Captain Radgaz has gone down. I tell you what I do love about the later Total War games, and it is really difficult to come back to this one. It's the only thing that really makes me want to fully change to playing later games. And that is how easy it is to move units in the later games. They just obey your commands instantly. It's so refreshing. And you can, when you tell them to pivot, when you just tell them to simply pivot in place, they don't have to all go into the center of themselves and then all expand back out in a different way. They just literally take 2 steps forward and then the new formation is founded. I can't put it into words how great it is. I also can't believe how easy this has been. We are absolutely ruining them. 50% of the enemy has already died, but then that does ask the question of where's the other 50%?
They have lost half their men.
They had like 1,000 people. Where's the other 400 odd guys? There's two. Oh, yes, they're 200 men per battalion now, aren't they? So there's the other 400. This has been such a doddle. This is like easy mode. But we've lost 20%, and most of those will have been the defenders. But as we have already now won, I'm not going to wait. We will go and attack them. Oh, shall I show you the Elven Defenders? Yeah, you probably wouldn't have seen them before. Here they are. This is the upgraded Elven Defender. They have the look of the old Nanatari units. Were they called Nanatari or Nanahita or something? I can't remember. So this is Rivendell only, you see. So in Rivendell... So in Rivendell and Mithlond, your garrison unit, as you will note, comes with an armor upgrade, a weapon upgrade, and 3 points of experience right out the bat. So you have a very good defensive unit, even though there's only 2 of them. In normal settlements, your garrison troops will just be normal. They will start with no armor upgrade, no weapon upgrade, and no experience.
If we continue like this, we will.
I can't believe those crossbows are shooting at us, even as their men die. Right, here we go then. Next up. If you press the delete key, you can follow along with your units, and you can move the camera around, and it sort of anchors you to them. We'll come out of ×6. And it lets you spin around. Now, again, another feature that I'm learning as I'm now playing the later Total War games. If I now repress the delete key, or repress rather, it'll ping me back over to there where I first pressed it. Whereas in later games, if I repress the delete key, as thus ending the locked feature, it will just release my camera where I am. So that's nice, isn't it? But it really lets you get in amongst the action, you see. Like, oh, look at that. Right close up. I'm like a director. Try and keep your eyes on the orcs, because they're going quickly. Oh, I do like the elves. They have a nice crisp look to them, even than, like, the lesser-known units, like these nano... I can't remember what they were called. Nanatar? I'm sure it was Nanatar. Should speed it up a bit. You might get a motion sickness though, I'm afraid. No, you're not routing, are you? Oh, no, you're chasing them down. Oh, because they're routing. Right. Continue on. There's only goblin infantry left. You can, of course, use this unit to your heart's content, because after the battle it will disband, and it will then return in the next battle fully replenished. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't retain any of its stats. Again, those of you coming to Medieval II from later Total War games, where the garrison units actually keep their experience, which is another really cool feature, and something I would love for us to have, but that is beyond Medieval II's engine, I'm afraid. So this unit could get up to 9 experience points in this battle, and if they are used again, they will drop back down to 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever they start at. 1, I think they start at, to be honest. They finally all died, though. But then whatever unit is coming will not get past, I can assure you, the Amanyar Swordmasters. Oh, wrong button. Run. Let's go. When they come through that door, smash them. They are coming through the door, aren't they? Yeah, here they come really slowly. They did get all of our elves, but that's alright. Come and have a go then, you buggers. Come and have a go. I mean, okay, if it's possible, I would absolutely love it if this building could shoot as well, but I appreciate gatehouses can't do that. But those two on the right absolutely should. Let's get towers on those. Right, here they are. Everybody ready? Hit them. Wavering, broken,
like this,
fighting to the death, dying. So who's left? The Taskmasters. Send out the Swordmasters. We're going to just jump over the gate. There we go. Bear with me. And here we are.
The enemy
And it's over.
Awed by the victory we have won here today.
5 of the pathetic little goblins. 358 kills, those defenders. Christ alive, they're good. 5 pathetic little goblins made it out alive, and they shall return to the north, to Goblin Town, with news of terror, fear, and utter annihilation. Do not mess with the elves, is the moral of the story. I'm really enjoying this campaign, I have to confess. I know I'm banging on about Warhammer and all the great things it brings to the game. Turn time's not amongst that. I really like this game, I really do. And for me, it's the most fun Lord of the Rings game I've ever played, and that is the reason why I've stuck around with the modding of it for so long. There have been a couple of times where I have actually wanted to stop modding, I have to confess, but there wasn't really any need or point to stop, so I sort of carried on. It's a nice little hobby to have, and we're a very laid-back modding team. There is never a pressure to get something done ASAP. There is always time. Whereas some modding teams aren't like that, and but there is always time. So I'm happy to just sort of tick along with the rest of them, to be honest, making changes here and there, helping where I can. And I'm getting better at scripting, actually, in the fact that given that we've now had like 4 or 5 scripters and all of them have left us, I felt that it was time to actually learn how to do some basic things and really start to get to grips with the scripting, because we're going to need to be able to do basic things, because scripting is what sets it apart. I'm blagging because I'm not going to fight this battle. I am going to save it here. But that is the last stand army for Moria. 2 units of trolls indicate that. They've got a couple of elites. I think it might be... I don't know if it's the actual last stand or if it's the fall of... Yes, it's the fall of Moria last stand. As you can see from the colour change on the floor there. Some people tell me that these 2 colours are too similar. I personally, I don't see it. But... see those 2 lines on the floor underneath our dwarven friend? The grey one on the right indicates that Khazad-dûm has taken Western Moria, and we'll probably get a notification of that at the end of the turn. And that's why we're being attacked by this ridiculous force, which I don't think we'll be able to beat, to be honest. Those trolls are a real pain. Otherwise, that's a lot of trash. But for now, I'm going to save it. And that is going to end today's episode. So thank you very much for watching, if indeed you have. Do feel free to check out Gamesplanet in the link below, and there'll be an intro thingy at the end, or an outro rather, giving you that information. But until we speak again, dear friends, I do hope you enjoy the now upcoming 4 Dorwinian videos to start that campaign off. I thoroughly enjoyed recording it yesterday, and I hope you'll enjoy watching along. Dorwinian has changed markedly since the last time I featured it on the channel. And not just Dorwinian, but the lands around it. There are so many more provinces, there's so many more land features that weren't there before. There are changes to be had and to be experienced. And so I'm pleased Dorwinian won the vote, because Isengard hasn't really changed very much at all since pretty much its inception. So I'm pleased that didn't win, if I'm honest. Whereas Dorwinian should be good fun. But until that time, do have an absolutely smashing end to your weekend, if indeed you are in this time zone or the one behind. And I hope you're enjoying your Monday if you're over in Nova Zealandia. But until we speak again, dear friends, Navarna den Perimad Melonin, and farewell.